Hi guys, it's Wendy-Anne and welcome to 2021. So today I am going to talk about the typical mistakes that actors make, and my biggest desire is that you go in the right direction to acting and to really practice your craft as well as you can and really get the craft right. You must absolutely understand what acting is all about in order to go to the right direction. So the first thing that you have to be aware of, acting is not acting. So what I mean by that is acting is not pretending. Acting is a reflection of the reality of this world, of every human day life, or it can also be a fantasy movie. So what I mean is it's actions that we do every day, movements that we do every day, emotions that we feel every day. So it's not pretending at all. Acting is not playing an imitation game and you're just, performing an imitation. People go to movies and stage for a reason. The reality of this world can be quite a brutal, cruel one. So we go to movies and to the stage because we want to have that escape. We want to get inspired by other characters. So I'm going to give an example. So I suppose that most of you know The Queen's Gambit, as it's the #1 TV series on the planet at the moment, and I absolutely love this TV series. The fact that Beth Harmon as a character is so persistent, obsessed with that one passion of hers. And everyone if you have a passion out there, you should really be obsessed. That's my biggest recommendation. But back to acting. So let's imagine a chess player is watching this on his computer. He wants to watch this because he is obsessed with chess, let's say. Maybe he wants to get inspired by Beth Harmon's persistence, the fact that she ended up somehow to be the #1 player. Because Beth Harmon, that's all she thinks about. Chess, that's it. So people go to the movies to get inspired, to evolve themselves, to get better at something. Or if ever someone is sad or depressed, they want to see a movie to cheer themselves up, to, escape the brutality of this world. And they want to be able to relate. So you have to perform authentically. You really have to give an authentic performance. Otherwise, people are not going to buy it, and they're not going to have that escape. So in a way, actors are doing a favor to the audience because they can, one, be an inspiration, two, they can make them happy and entertain themselves. So, for example, if you're doing a movement that you wouldn't do in the real world, it's just going to ruin the performance, it's going to ruin people's happiness, and you won't have that level of empathy, which is what acting is really all about. Just everyday life, living in the moment, not imitating, just living in the moment on screen, living in the moment on stage. You don't know what your partner is going to do in the scene on stage or on screen. He could do something so unexpected that the way you've learned your lines doesn't correspond to the way you would respond to your partner in an acting scene. So I know that in acting, it's all about the lines. People keep saying it's all about the lines. So #2, it is about the lines, but you have to forget about the lines. That's what you have to say to yourself. Forget about the lines. They have to come naturally to you. And that's the second biggest mistake that actors keep making. They're so aware of their lines inside of their heads that they end up living in their own head and they don't live in the moment. So that's the biggest mistake that actors make. So my biggest advice, don't have your lines in your head. You have to basically discover them. You'll have them learnt, which is really good. But then when you're playing in the scene or on the stage, you have to discover them. because that's what we do. We don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what I could say next to my friend or to my family member. Anything could pop out of my mouth. It depends on what they're saying, basically, and that's real human life. You just, things just pop out of your mouth randomly. They don't. It's not something you've learned by heart. I didn't learn this by heart, for instance. So that's it. You have to portray what a human would do. So a human would just not know the next word that would come out of his mouth. It's just unexpected. That's why having your lines just consciously in your head, it's not, I mean, it's good to have them memorized because that's the scene, basically, but you don't have to get the words precisely right. I mean, a lot of directors maybe require that you get every single word right, otherwise it's going to make the story not understandable, as there are key words, let's say. But to act, you need to forget about the lines. You need to live in the moment, and the lines will come naturally to you. So that's one of the biggest mistakes that people make. My teacher told me the lines float on top of a river. So you just have to ignore the lines, basically. There were two exercises I previously mentioned in the Meisner technique. If you're doing an intricate activity and you're focusing on doing an activity rather than focusing on your lines, it's gonna make you live in the moment. And if you're with a scene partner and they clap your hands to bring you back to focus back to your partner, that's another good exercise. You can see the previous video, Meisner technique. So those are the two essential mistakes that actors make. The first one being pretending. Acting is not pretending. Acting is living in the moment, portraying a real human being. And the second one, as a human being, you're not aware of the exact words in your head. They just come out. You discover them, basically. Another mistake that actors make is they talk. Some actors can talk so fast because they want to get the monologue out of the way, but acting is slow. That's what you have to know. You have to take time with every single word when you're acting, because each word has an impact to you. So you need to see which words are so important that you have to take time in saying them. When you're having a discussion, let's say with a family member, you're taking your time. You're not rushing real fast. So take your time when you're saying your speech. Acting can be very different from academic work, and that was one of my prior mistakes, because I thought, oh, if I get a word wrong in my monologue or my scene, I'm not going to do it right, because I've been so academically brought up that I thought, yeah, I have to get every single word right. You should, but I mean, it's really good that you know your monologue word by word, but really, it's about discovering them. Another thing, another tip is you have to realize that as human beings, we have two main things. We have feelings and we have an objective. Every time we say something, there's feelings and an objective. For example, my objective is to get this information to you. That's my objective. And my feeling, I'm feeling quite happy and positive to share this with you because it can bring an impact to your life. So as human beings, we always have a feeling and an objective. So that's one of the things that you have to know. It's not about the lines, it's about really feeling true emotion and being aware that we all have an objective. So that's what it's really about. Not your lines, just being an authentic human being that people can relate to. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope this helped. And this is especially if you're starting out in the profession. I think if you're an actor who's already in the profession, perhaps we somehow unconsciously constantly make these mistakes, but maybe this could be a good reminder, or if you're starting out in acting, it will lead you to the right direction. So I really hope that helped you a lot. Thank you very much for watching, and happy 2021. Bye bye.